Good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here, and welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here. I am glad to be here. A few weeks ago, I was working with one of the leaders that I have the opportunity to consult with, and he was asking me some questions around freedom. And in Strategic Coach, they've identified 4 distinct freedoms: freedom of time, freedom of money, freedom of relationship, and freedom of purpose or passion. And so I was sitting there looking at these freedoms together, and as he was looking at them, going through them, he says, I really don't have a passion. I said, well, what are you going to do to get one? And he says, well, that's it. I need freedom. I need more of time and money and more better relationships so that I can get the freedom to be able to see what my passion is. Now, he had it backwards, didn't he? Because I told him, I said, man, you just don't have a big enough why. A big enough why will sustain your present agony. And a big enough why will figure out how to get the time. A big enough why will figure out how to get the money, and the time, the money, and the relationships will all follow if you've got the right purpose. So let's start focusing on what that purpose is. Now, years ago, Hiram Smith, one of the co-founders of Franklin Planner, he was speaking, and he gave an illustration to identify the power of having the right why or the right purpose. And at that time, the Twin Towers were here, so he used them as an example. He first said, if I strung an I-beam, say it's 2 feet wide, and I had it laid out on the nearest football field or parking lot, and I asked you, I put up a $100 bill, let's say it's 2 feet wide, let's say it was 186 feet long, and I put up a $100 bill, and I say, who would be willing to walk this I-beam, and whoever doesn't fall off, I'll give you $100. My guess is you would be on that I-beam. You'd at least try, wouldn't you? And most of us would make it, most of us would make it easily. 2 feet wide, all I got to do is just walk. I don't even have to put one foot in front of the other. I just got to walk, and I'm going to be down there that 180 feet and get my $100. Now let's put it up on the top of the Twin Towers, over 1,300 feet high. Let's put it up there. Let's bolt it down just to make sure it doesn't slip. Now, would you be willing to walk that? Remember, if you've ever stood at the top of the Twin Towers, how you felt? And you were just like, whoa. Remember the moisture in the air while you were up there and how hard the wind was blowing? Whoa. Now imagine yourself standing on the edge, looking down, knowing that you've got how much money? How much money would it take for you to walk there? There isn't enough money? Can you shimmy? No, you can't shimmy. Can I crawl? No, you can't crawl. Just walk across. It's only 2 feet wide. You did it on the ground. Why wouldn't you do it up there? Because the why isn't big enough. So if I took your child, your grandbaby, and I was on one side and I held it up and I said, you get over here, or I'm letting go. Then, what would you do? You would be on the I-beam that fast. Because your why is big enough. Your why is big enough. Now, how do you get that why? How do you get that why? Well, first question is, and then we'll talk about this in future Meaningful Mondays. The first question is, make a list of those things that you absolutely love doing. Then make a list of those things that you absolutely dislike doing. I want you to go back in and circle your top 3 or 4 of your things that you love doing, and circle 3 or 4 of the things that you hate doing. And if you want to start moving towards your purpose, start eliminating the things you don't like doing and start increasing the things that you love doing. And out of that, it'll start coming together. We'll talk about this more. Have a meaningful week. Have a meaningful week. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.